Here we have an LTV kit made by LTV Aerospace back in the 69-70 range. There's only about 2,000 of them ever made. I've been working on this one to get it. It is running now. I still have a lot of more restore work to do. I pulled the motor out, which the transmissions, engine, and hydraulic cooler all come out together. It actually wasn't too bad getting it pulled, although it weighs about 500 pounds total. It's a 107 cubic inch V4 motor, Wisconsin. As you can see, when I get it out, I will move it over and get it onto a trailer, and then I'll get a dolly ready so I can mount it. And actually, later I ran the engine on the dolly by itself. It made it much easier to get to hydraulic lines I couldn't get to when I was inside the kit to take it apart. There is the transmission cooler, and as we move on, I moved it all outside and covered the carburetor intake and the exhaust so that I could degrease and power wash. After the cleaning, it looked a whole lot better. Some of it come out looking almost new. Then I took off the shroud that goes over the transmission cooler on the front and got ready to take apart the transmissions. I was leaking hydraulic oil at the front seal of at least one of them. These hydraulic lines here were very hard to get at inside the vehicle. So out like this, I could take them apart rather easily. There, I'm washing up some of the parts. And as you can see there, I had to use a lift to get the transmissions off. They're about 100 pounds a piece, and they were really stuck on there. The gasket glue was really good. I had to use heat. Once I pull them off, you can get a see in there. There's the gear that runs the hydrostats off the engine. I'm going over and getting the second hydrostat off. These are Vickers hydrostats, which were used in heavy equipment, very stout units. There you can see both of them off. They're actually three pieces together. Each hydrostat has a pump, which goes hooked to the motor, a valve body in between, and then the motor, which actually drives the sprockets to make the kid go. And since the problem was just in the pump, I disassembled and removed the pump and left the rest of the transmission intact. Once I pulled it off, and you can see a picture, there's the hydraulic pump. To disassemble it, take the shaft out, and replace the seal. One of the transmissions actually had the bearing that's on that shaft bad, and I had to replace it also. Once I got it back together, it's time to start reassembling the units. Again, it takes the lift to pick it up, and I had to get some studs to screw into the valve thing so I could slide them on and get it ready to put in. In the meanwhile, I had test run the engine, and it's running good. Get the cooler back on, get all the hydraulic lines and everything assembled back together, including the big hose, and then lift it up and put it back in. I had to do a little modification to that firewall to make it slide in easier, but once that was done, it made it much easier and I could get it back in. And there you have it, all together.